For the first time in history, we may have created drugs that can actually treat obesity. So in part one of this series, we talked about GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and how they entered the market and the origins of those drugs, and how massive pharmaceutical companies like Novo Nordisk are capturing huge amounts of market share in this growing billion-dollar business of obesity treatment. And so don't be surprised if we see other digital health providers start to jump in here and try to capture some of this market. You may recognize Roman or Ro, a company that recently raised a funding round at a $6.6 billion valuation, originally known for their telehealth services that help treat erectile dysfunction or hair loss, are now entering the space. And like many others, they're entering it pretty aggressively. This is Ro's homepage. And there's even another platform called Sequence, which is a product of Weekend Health that is just focusing on GLP-1 centered weight loss journeys. They offer a lifestyle coach, a whole structured fitness plan, and they were acquired by Weight Watchers earlier this year for $132 million. And I think there's two real key things worth noting when we talk about treating obesity is that it doesn't just mean obesity by itself. This could have waterfall effects for other diseases and other ailments. For example, if we could reduce the rates of obesity in America and even internationally, we could see decreasing rates of things like strokes or depression, infertility, kidney failure, cancer, gallbladder problems, joint pain, a number of different problems that could essentially kind of slip away and be more treatable with the presence of new obesity-focused drugs. And the last thing I want to note is, while the long-term effects or kind of the effectiveness for every one of these drugs is still to be determined, they're both pretty new. All of these drugs have come out in the last 5 to 7 years. That what's really exciting here is this renewed sense of hope and optimism around treating obesity as not just a moral failing, but as a chronic issue that can be treated and have these downstream effects of potentially curing or being able to better treat other diseases like we mentioned before.